because because over time, you know, people are like, I don't like that one at all. And there's essentially different ways to do the same thing. I mean, anybody that does hand knitting probably knows that. It's like you can accomplish the same kind of technique through a lot of different ways. Same with this. So for instance, I showed you the comb cast on and the weave on, same exact technique, 2 different ways to get to the same result. There's a lot of stuff like that in knitwear. And you'll see, you know, if you Google some videos or something, you'll see, oh, maybe they're doing it slightly differently. There's so many ways to do things differently and get the same result. So, you know, if you ever see anything interesting, you can tell me, let me know. And I also will not be showing you every single little thing because I want you to get the basics. So first thing I'm gonna do, pull this out because otherwise I'm fighting this tension. It's really annoying. I'm gonna put that there and not forget to take it off when I'm done. I wanna put this just back here behind this. It's a good place for that to be. You don't want it like getting caught all over everything, so just back there should be fine. I'm gonna make a slip knot, so just twist it, grab, not the tail end, but the other one, pull it up, and then I can put it on my latch tool and just cinch it down to make it a little bit of a loop like that. And then letting that tail hang with the clothespin, I'm gonna put the latch tool in between. I want these all out, right? Because I'm working on the posts of the needles right now. I'm gonna put it in between the first and the second one. I'm gonna take this, which is attached to my yarn, put it into the hook, and I'm literally just pulling straight down so that that latch closes and pulls a little loop under there. So you see I pulled a little loop under there? I want that loop big enough, and now I'm just going over, up, I'm going straight down, pulling a little loop, over one, straight up, put it in the hook, straight down, make a little loop, over one, straight up, put it in the hook, straight down. And the only trick here is that the latch. So when I go up, I'm going past the latch, going over to put it in the hook, and I'm going straight down, and the latch is closing and making a loop on the bottom. So as long as, and I'm just going over one needle every time. I'm just moving it over straight down to make a loop. And if you guys want to come over here, if people need to switch out and see, if you're not able to see, you can get a little closer. Straight up, over, and I like to do it, I like to come over so that I'm kind of touching this other needle. That way I know that that loop is big enough, because if I was doing it way over here, I could be making the loop way too small. So if I'm coming over here, I can see that that loop's big enough, and I can use that needle kind of as a guide. Over, straight down, over, up, past the latch, in the hook, straight down to make a loop. Over one, up, past the latch, in the hook, straight down to make a loop, over, up, straight down, and then when you get to the end, remember I have a loop, but I have nothing to do here, so I take this last one and I put it on there, and then I'm gonna put this underneath it, and then now, because my yarn ended here, my carriage has to be over there, so I would take the carriage off. Don't forget to take that out. If there's any looseness here, you can just pull like that so that you get your nice tension up there. And then I would take this, put it over here, making sure that's on correctly. This, I want to move these back. That's how I want to start. And then I can put it in, and I can immediately start knitting. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the weave on, which is just the first 3 rows or so. I'm going to push this out. So now I can go across. This is actually knitting a row, but it's too small to put any weight on. So I'm gonna hold this down here, and you can do just a little bit of time. Hold it down there, push these out, so that I know I have the little balloon loops every time. Ooh, I'm gonna make your touch a little bit bigger. It's pretty tight. And now I'm gonna go over it again. See how I get these little balloon loops on the top? I'm just gonna hold it here, push it out, just do a little bit at a time, and then I should be good now to get some weight on there. So now I can put some weight on here, and what you'll see, I'm gonna knit a little bit so you can see the edge. This one makes a really, really nice finished edge. So if you're doing just the bottom of something where you're not hemming or anything, or the scarf, you know, bottom, I'm going to show you two ways, one just a plain scarf and one where you can put it together to make an infinity scarf. It's exactly the same bind off process. So you can do either way. So when you see this, as opposed to the one that was just a bunch of loops with a straight line through it, what you have here is a nice crocheted finished edge. It's like a chain stitch. Basically, you're doing a chain stitch, if that makes sense. So you have this nice finished edge. The disadvantage of this is that there is no stretch to it. So however big I made that loop, it's limited by that. So you would never do a lash tool around a neckline or something that you needed to stretch a lot. If it was a really tight skirt around the hem, you would never do that because there is no stretch to it. I can do it on a scarf or something because I don't need it to stretch, and it makes a really nice finished edge.